Hi, welcome back to Geekified. It's a usual one. I think we're going to have a lot more episodes to come on this one. You've already had one, and I'm certain there's probably going to be one every single week. It's Wandavision. Hi, so we've had episode 5 of Wandavision. We're here to discuss it again. We have Tony. We have got Mark.
Hello.
And we have got Nathan. Well, what an absolute crazy ass episode that was. I absolutely loved that. I don't quite know where it's going, and I'm hoping, because I've not tried to stay away from as much as I possibly can from theories and stuff online, even though some absolute plonker spoiled it for me first thing this morning on Twitter before I could even say it. So if any of you viewers are watching this, at least leave it a day so people can see it before they actually put shit up on Twitter. Anyway, we're not here for that.
Just don't go on Twitter, Chris. Just don't go on Twitter before you watch it.
That's not the point, Nathan.
Aren't we ruining it before the day's out?
Oh no, I'm going to have a big massive spoiler saying, like, don't watch this if you haven't seen it. This person literally put on the top of it, Wandavision spoiler, ... and then a picture of a certain character that we're going to talk about later on. So it's plainly obvious that was a twist. So yeah,
baby vision. Yeah,
baby. I want to talk about that as well. I want to talk about that intro. That was fantastic.
I want Baby Vision to become the next Baby Yoda of Disney, please.
Can you imagine? Or like Baby Vision plushies and stuff. It would be so cute. I'd totally buy that. I'm not kidding. I would actually buy it. Add it to the collection.
Surely Baby Vision's just Jarvis, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, in theory.
That's code that Tony Stark ever wrote.
So it's done. Episode 5. There was a lot actually in the trailers that we got to see, but we discussed this on our group recently. The promos actually had a lot more in it that wasn't in it, and we actually thought we were going to get the way it worded on the actual Disney's YouTube release. It said episode 5 and 6 coming on Friday, so I think I certainly assumed we were going to get 6. So there was a lot of stuff that was in the previous trailer that we've seen that wasn't actually in this episode. So I've been trying all day to separate them in my head to think what I've seen and what we've not seen in the kind of little clips. Even one scene I will talk about very shortly. We know it happened and we've seen it from a security camera. We didn't actually get to see the footage that we've seen that was released from her inside that room. But we'll get to that. First of all, just want to know what's your general thoughts so far? Tony?
It's on two sides. It seems, I think Marvel are playing us because when you're talking about the promos and all, they're giving far, far too much away. And even in the cast breakdowns, which I spotted, we did announce about the character we're going to talk about, kind of knew that was going to happen. And I don't know, they've done it again with someone else.
Oh, right, I've not seen that.
But this is on the Internet Movie Database credits. Like they keep adding the person before the episode's out. So this
isn't the spoiler we've seen today, no?
No.
Someone, okay.
But which links completely into the story anyway, where we're going. But it's
just to create buzz, isn't it?
Well, yeah, well, it could be, yeah. I would hope so, but it just seems that they're going against completely what these big franchises do by keeping things really tight-lipped. But maybe they're trying to play the game right. Okay, we'll let a few out, so the main one is hidden that we're going to get. But apart from that, again, episode threw up a lot of red herrings. I was like, now I'm questioning everything and what every character does because I don't believe who's who now. I was looking at Rambo going, I don't think she is actually her now. Because there was 2 incidences, she reacted to something and I was like, okay, maybe she's bad. I just can't trust anyone. The only person I can trust is Wu and Darcy. Everyone else, I don't trust.
And Simon Pegg.
And Simon Pegg when he turns up.
Obviously.
Vision.
But yeah, do you know what? That's possibly the closest answer that I could give as well to what I thought about that episode. Yours is bang on to what I think. I don't believe anything that I'm seeing anymore. There's obviously certain characters that I think are who they say and are what they are. That would mainly be in Darcy and Wu. That's the two that I'm kind of confident that's just who they are. But everyone else, I think, for me, is absolutely up for grabs. So, Mark, what's your thoughts on 5?
Yeah, the mystery deepens. We got some questions, we got some answers. But no, I'm just loving how it's progressing. I'm trying to remember back. I watched it first thing this morning. You know, just yeah, like as you're both saying, with you're starting to distrust everyone. I think it's, you know, we've been seeing this from an unrelatable narrator the whole time, you know, so just mistrust everything. You know, I'm not sure about Rambo, especially because she didn't seem to know that the drone was armed. But at the same time, she could just be playing both sides. Maybe she's just shit scared of Wanda and doesn't want to fall on the wrong side of either people. I think my big hope for that episode, sadly, wasn't true. Ghost never showed up. It was Wanda that was coming out the ring. Which
Same. I was very disappointed, Mark. Actually, I thought we hit the nail on the head with that one. I really did.
I know it was, to be honest, I was this close to texting you all on Thursday night going, actually, Wanda, when she's got her coat on, could be that silhouette. And I was like, no, I want it to be Ghost. I just want it to be Ghost. Yeah. And I think Ghost, if she doesn't show up in this series, will have been a very silly mistake from Disney to miss her out, because she's a perfect agent to infiltrate this setting. But so far, everything else is spot on. It's the comedy's getting funnier, but I think that's because it's you know, it's the chalk and cheese, dark and light contrast of everything's getting darker and more mysterious. Yeah. So the jokes feel weirder and more out of place, making them more cartoony and comic in comparison. So I'm enjoying it all so far. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, yeah, I agree with. This is the thing about not knowing what the frick is going on. I'm agreeing with everybody. It's almost every theory. Like whereas I was going down a straight line of my ideas for what was happening, I'm now so many little holes have been picked in almost every one of them that I have to open up the gate again just of ideas, because I've no idea which way they're going there. So what about yourself, Nathan?
Oh, this might be an unpopular opinion, because we're talking just about episode 5, not episode 4, no?
4 and 5, yeah. We're just obviously 5 is just released today.
So 4 I thought was amazing, really, really good. I really enjoyed it. This week I didn't enjoy it so much. I thought that, bizarrely, I thought I would have enjoyed it more if they'd just gone back to doing the sitcom and not trying to intersperse the bits, because I didn't think it really worked with the sort of with the sitcom thing when it was showing you other stuff as well. I don't think it really worked that well. I thought the bit when Wanda came out of the bubble, the hex, what they're calling it now, was probably the best scene in the whole thing. And then the bit when she controlled everybody and got them to turn their guns on that guy, I physically gasped, thinking that they might have gone full adult and shot him. Yeah, and I'm enjoying Paul Bettany's performance as Vision. I think he's obviously starting to become more sentient and realize what's happening. And yeah, so that part of it's good. But I don't know. I found this episode a little bit muddled. I can see what they were trying to do. You know, they're trying to show that reality is seeping into the sort of sitcom world of WandaVision. But yeah, I wasn't as happy as I was last week.
Yeah, I do get where you're coming from with that, Nathan, because I can't actually disagree. It was a very, very different episode again. Moving into an episode where you got to see the opposite side of the wall, it was a relief. I was the same as you there. I was actually hoping to get to have that 80s episode where it was mainly just about that. Again, I was actually kind of thinking we were going to get that again and go back to that, but obviously maybe we're now doing that half and half thing. Sorry, Mark?
I think I said it donkeys ago when we discussed The Walking Dead. I hate a TV show that has to fully put down a storyline to pick up another one and walk you a wee bit along that one and put that one down and pick up this one. So I'm actually really enjoying the fact that they're giving us a bit of each rather than. I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes being sitcom because we had no idea what's going on, and the 4th is almost fully beyond the wall. But I like the combination of the two because I think being able to tell multiple angles of the same story at once is what a basic writer should be able to do. Walking Dead, take some notes.
No, I agree with that, but my point was that I thought that they could have done this episode if they hadn't put the title sequence in, which is probably the best title sequence they've done, but it didn't fit with the episode, I didn't think. I thought that's what muddled it for me. If they just sort of flip between the two things, you could still have got the same story, but without that bit, that seemed a bit of style over substance to me.
I get where you're coming from because it's probably, I think all of the intros have been quite thematically correct against the TV shows that have been shown, but that one I think is quite thematically correct against that exactly kind of Fuller House style comedy. I mean, I think it was almost kind of shot for shot as what you get in Fuller House, but when you see it, so again, it's just matching the show that they're mimicking.
Yeah, but I didn't think that fitted with the episode. I didn't think that fitted with how the episode went when it was half in the sitcom and half in the reality. Yeah,
you think you should have just had most of the episode itself just being in the sitcom?
Well, I don't know exactly, to be honest with you. I just didn't think it fitted that well because it kept flipping in and out of the sitcom. I understand being in the sitcom and having bits where the bit I didn't really get was a bit when Agnes came in and she said, "Well, I just take that from the top again." I thought that seemed a bit strange to me, that bit. So I can't figure that out. One thing I did spot, which I was really pleased with myself, I never spot any Easter eggs, is that the towel in the advert was called Lagos, which is obviously from Nigeria, where they had that big in Winter Soldier. And I was really pleased that I spotted that without having to look up on the internet. I am now officially a super geek.
That's you. You've got the badge.
Following on from Nathan's comments about slightly muddling it, you are right. This is the first time, from the outside world perspective, they were never getting to see Wanda's edits. Mm-hmm. But then in the inside world, we were seeing the blips. We saw the rewind. We saw, Wanda straight up blipping Vision back into place before he said something sad earlier. And then like that whole bit, why did Wanda not rewind Agnes to not say that in front of Vision? It feels like, but maybe what they're trying to show you is she's losing control over the world. She's losing the ability to edit it, so, maybe that's all they were trying to show there.
You can see Vision starting to take control of it as well.
Yeah.
With when he's touching people and he's bringing them out of the trance or whatever they're in, and then bringing them back in again. And then he did the bit with you see it in the trailer, the bit with Agnes in the car as well. So obviously,
I'm assuming
becoming more
next
powerful.
episode.
He's becoming more powerful, obviously, which sort of makes sense.
Question: if Vision and Wanda were both made by the same stone, the Mind Stone, and Vision is technically the actual embodiment of the Mind Stone, who's more powerful?
Oh.
Well, I know. Well, technically, because if you look up, there's a scaling system.
Oh yeah, she's an Omega level mutant.
She's an Omega, so technically, well, in comic book world.
Yeah, but she's not a mutant in this world.
Is the Mind Stone? It doesn't quite make sense. Like,
surely because Vision, you can remove the Mind Stone from Vision, and he has no power. He dies basically, whereas she doesn't need that to have her power, so she would be more powerful.
I think this is what they're trying to set her up to, that she is on par with Thanos or even more powerful. They even said that,
Yeah.
It did happen at the end of Endgame, and she did say that. Ryan's Rambo says that Scarlet Witch was about to take Thanos down, but it was the only thing that they managed to get away was the strike that he called, in which she killed half of his army. So we know that she is ridiculously powerful, whereas I don't think Vision really is that powerful.
It's just a bizarre one, because in Lord of the Rings, the ring is the powerful thing, not the user it touches. Whereas in this, the Mind Stone was the powerful thing, touched someone and made something more powerful than itself.
And she has stopped Vision before, because she can stop Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not only did she destroy the stone, but she also enabled him with Barton and during the Civil War. So in a fight to fight, she's more powerful.
By bringing in the character that shan't be named yet at the end, are they not bringing in the possibility that she's not just made from the Mind Stone, she's actually just a mutant as well, you know?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Hold that thought. I was hoping we're going to close the episode on that.
Question about Wanda's power then. In Age of Ultron, Captain America punches her into defeat. How is that possible if Vision can't do that?
Because at that time she wasn't so powerful because she was still learning her powers and developing.
Yeah. It's been said a few times.
I don't know. I feel a lot of this is bullshit, around answers.
It's also not a real life, and it's a story, so maybe.
Yeah, but at some point, can we dedicate a full episode to Marvel and its just inability to keep people at the same power ratings and having to make people way weaker in one movie and then way more powerful in the next?
That's why. Yeah, I hate that Infinity War when Black Widow became incredibly powerful.
It's not real.
No, but in terms of power ratings, when you're, as someone,
So, Tony, can I stop you for a second, mate? I'm just going to remove the geek badge off of Nathan. Can you just fucking hand me that back? It's all real.
Just sell your pop.
Sorry.
You don't deserve them.
Well, basically, like these people, when they're even doing the fight scenes, you do have to work it out, like how a battle would end and stuff like to make it as real as possible. if it was real, but it's that really annoyed me in Infinity War. Like, again, I agree with Mark. They have dropped, the coin or whatever you want to say on a few occasions now, where they should have all the characters on a board with power levels and go, oh, can this person do that? And they look at the script and go, no, they can't do that because of this.
When there wouldn't be any stories then. It's just the most powerful person win all the time. That's not...
No, Tony's right, though, because all you would have to do if Scarlet Witch is a Thanos-level creature, in Age of Ultron, it should have been Thor and Cap against her to beat her, Like, you don't just make one character way weaker for a fight, unless you do something like they did in The Force Awakens and shoot the character before his lightsaber battle. But they didn't do that with Scarlet. They just literally made Captain be able to punch her into defeat. And it's like, but Vision now can't overpower her. Very, very strange.
At the moment, Vision's not alive and not real, so...
Yeah, I believe that there's been a gradient of her powers over time. She has went from not being super powerful to being now. She's got just at the end. If you think about it, when was Infinity War Endgame in relation to the film? It was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So she's just
So she's the fight with Thanos. That's her at her most powerful. So she's now currently at her most powerful.
And
so that's what I think.
I've seen when she's angry and mourning, she's incredibly uncontrollable powers. She can't even control her powers because when her brother died, she destroyed like everyone almost. And now it's not only she destroyed her brother, like her love of her life was killed, and she's just been blipped back. So I think they might be going with her. They might be going down the Jean Grey route of X-Men in terms of, they've let's say tried to cap her powers, or she's tried to control her powers, or someone else is that we don't know. And now, but when she's in a rage, she just can't control herself.
Yeah.
So this is I've said a couple of weeks ago on the last episode on this. She's the villain. I'm 100% that she is the villain. It's not.
I completely agree with you that she is going to be the big bad that they have to fight in the final episode. And I'm gonna change who I think might show up for the big bad fight. I think the big bad fight might be Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Monica acted very strangely when Captain Marvel was talked about.
She did.
Very
She
strangely.
she ignored them.
I've got a theory.
Okay.
Oh,
Right, you know how at the end of Nathan series, I've got one. It's my one theory. You know, at the end of the most recent Marvel film now is Spider-Man: Far From Home. Yeah. So at the end of that, you see that Samuel L. Jackson's what's his name? Fucking Nick Fury, and the other one,
Maria
Hill.
they're actually
Skrulls.
Skrulls. So maybe Monica Rambeau is actually a Skrull as well.
I think you're right. I think Monica's going to lead into Secret Invasion.
Yeah, that's why that's why there's no readings from her on the. Maybe she doesn't know it yet, or maybe she does, and that's why she reacts to Captain Marvel the way she does.
And also, when they say that they're going to have to redo her bloods and scan, she just gets up and says, "Nah, we're done here," and forcefully walks away. I think she's going to start Secret Invasion storyline. I believe she'll be a big part of it with Nick Fury in that TV series.
I also have a second theory.
My mind. Hold on. Nathan's theories. But just because I just say it, my mind has actually been blown by that last one. So I can't take that much. That's possibly one of the best theories I've heard so far.
The other one I think is that because they're talking a lot about there's lots of big villains coming into these next few Marvel things. So maybe this time it's going to be a major villain team up rather than a Avengers team up.
Oh, that's definitely, that'll be the Thunderbolts.
There's talk about Kang. There's talk about Mephisto. There's talk about obviously Scarlet Witch being a major baddie as well. So I think maybe it's going to be like a big, super bad team. It's going to make a super good team form up as well.
So I personally don't think we're going to get Mephisto. No, because I don't think they would bring the devil into Marvel. I just don't see the devil being a part of the kind of culture that they're trying to make, because it's almost a very religious way to go. I just don't see them be doing that. I don't think.
They've been doing that with the whole hexagon thing, though.
They've never called her. They've never called her the witch. They've never called her. It's a type of magic, like cosmic.
But they did say that, in that, the head of sword went, has she not got any other nicknames at all?
And there's the devil in the detail line as well.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And then he I think he knows that, name's Scarlet Witch.
Mm.
And then he's like, she's not.
Mephisto symbol in the wallpaper in the poster as well.
Yeah. Is that
not Grim Reaper that's in it?
No, there's
no, that was Mephisto. You've seen him, like the comic book. And plus,
Grim Reaper's helmet.
The toy range, we always can go with the toys. They've started to release toys of him, Mephisto, especially with the Funko Pop range as well.
Yeah.
So that's how you kind of educate people who don't really know, just for the toy thing as well. But I don't think we'll see him. I think there'll be a massive hint that they're putting him up to be the next.
And I don't think they'll make him the devil. He'll just be something similar in the idea of badness. Because you are right, they've stayed very far away from religion and the whole thing.
Yeah,
we've got Hela, the goddess of death. There's rumors of who Christian Bale will play in Love and Thunder. So I think
that's the God Butcher.
Yeah, so I think they're bringing in further gods with infinities, and I can't think of what that one's called. The Eternals. They're bringing in more gods, so it doesn't seem that strange to bring in the opposite. Bring in demons.
Yeah. I just didn't feel it. I just thought certainly the devil, the idea of a devil. I think maybe you're right. They might call him something else, but I just don't see religion being brought in yet. Yeah, something Yeah, something like that. So the next big question that I think is one of the most popular ones that's been theorized just now is Catherine Hahn's amazing portrayal of Agnes,
the witch.
Yeah. So what do you think's going on? Because obviously when we had the notice board, when they were putting up the cast of basically WandaVision, you had everybody's names was there, and she still didn't have a person, they didn't have a real person towards her. And obviously, given her behaviour, as what you mentioned, Mark, when she said, should we just take this from the top?
Mm-hmm.
So she's very much aware that it's a sitcom.
Yeah, it's kind of linking to, like, we've seen a power that got confirmed that, you know, Scarlet Witch can literally generate new characters, powerful characters. She's just regenerated a version of the character we're not going to name yet.
No, she didn't generate it. She said that.
What do you mean?
She says it wasn't her in it. She didn't expect him to be there.
But then, well, this is again back to the, maybe she doesn't know that she's doing it.
Right. So this is the next point I was going to make about was the clothing. So obviously they made a big, massive scene. The whole idea of the clothing that she was battered out of, the 70s style stuff, is actually the reality of the Kevlar vest changed and turned into a uniform. So everything that is, everything that is in that world is something that has been real, it's been changed, or it's been formed, or it has to have some sort of property. So I know there's obviously the twin thing is going to be a big thing. What is twins? Because they can't be real. Is that going to be fake? Is that going to be lies? But when it comes down to Agatha, what is really going on with her? You know what I mean? It's like, is she an actual person? Is she a manifestation? Is she going to be Agatha Harkness?
I think she is. I think she might have been the first person to be generated in that is now real. And now we're looking at Scarlet Witch creating really powerful superheroes, which is very dangerous for everyone. She's creating entire, characters who are powerful.
I've got another theory.
Nathan's
theories. I'm out Tony and Tony here. Yeah. She is, wait for it, Wanda's mother. She's the manifestation because she only ever comes to help her do things like a mother would. She helps look after the children. She helps to make food. She arrives with the dog thing at the right time. So she is the manifestation inside that of Wanda's mother.
I can put that down now. But you are close. The character of the witch, that's what she does in the comic books. She helps Scarlet Witch in times, she needs help. So
we're thinking that character is actually Agatha Harkness, who she's put in this bubble, who is another super famous witch. Do you think that she's came to get Scarlet Witch? She's came to help Scarlet Witch, or do you think Scarlet Witch has managed to pull her in the bubble?
Yeah, but where did Scarlet Witch meet this woman? We've seen her through all the films, right? This is taking place 2 weeks after Endgame, or 3 weeks after Endgame. It is. So, what point did she meet this character in order to manifest her in this? Maybe it is going to be Agatha. What's her name? Maybe and maybe because they've played with what these associations are in the films compared to what they are in the comic books, from what I understand. So maybe they're going to make her a relative of some sort, so they can bring her into it.
Yeah, she in the comics she's thousands of years old. She goes back past like obviously Salem trials and stuff like that. Well, that's only hundreds of years old, but you know what I mean. And she finds Wanda, I believe, in the comics. I'm testing my knowledge here, but so I think she does go to Wanda.
Yeah, but Wanda in the comics isn't necessarily Wanda in the MCU, is she?
No, of course she's not. I'm just trying to align them together.
The other thing that we're kind of missing with Agnes is the fact that she's the one to out Rambo. She's the one that says, she doesn't belong here. She doesn't have a home. But we have never seen Agnes next to her house, ever. If most other characters we have seen coming out of a house, Agnes is already outside every single time we see her. She either is just walking into Wanda's house unannounced, or she is on a bike or walking down the path.
No, we saw her today when she's got the dog. That's outside her house, isn't it? They eat the poisonous azaleas, the dog.
Yeah.
Well, she said that, but she's in a random bush. That's
what everyone's just said. It's their house. You haven't seen anyone else go into and out of anyone's house, have you?
But I think Agnes knows full well what's going on, and she wanted Rambo out, thinking that Rambo would rumble everything, you know?
But then that scene in the trailer when Vision does the head pokey thing and brings her out of the thing wouldn't make any sense.
I mean, you're really telling me a witch powerful enough to train Scarlet Witch in something can't fake a wee, oh yeah.
I just don't see in the way the Marvel Cinematic Universe has worked and how they brought Scarlet Witch in. She was stuck in a bloody bunker for however long and then came out of that, and then she's been with the Avengers the rest of the time, apart from a period of time when her and Vision were on the run and ended up in Edinburgh and before Infinity War. So I don't understand. I don't see where that would have happened. Where would this have come into it, unless she was part of her life when she was really young, before she went into the Hydra facility.
Which is why I think she's been generated inside the Hex.
Yeah, but
they have to be. They're a physical manifestation of something. Everything that's in there is something in a form. So she wouldn't be able to generate anything fake.
No, this is what she's been able to do, though. This is exactly what your point is off the board. The town people who were there already have been given characters, and that's why they've been able to get the driver's license and put. The reason why Catherine doesn't have a driver's license is because she never existed in the real world before.
No, I think she is actually Agatha Harkness, and I think she has came to the anomaly to help out Scarlet Witch, and she's got pulled into it. That's what I'm saying. I think she's still a real person. She's just not from Westview.
I agree with that. I thought maybe something was already going on in Westview, and she was like a sword agent that was in there already or something like that.
Well, if that's the case, we need an episode that goes back before this to show. Maybe. To give her a quick origin episode then.
Oh, they'll need to answer where she's came from. If they do turn around and say that she is Agatha Harkness, they're going to have to tell us why she came to get Wanda.
She's too big an actress that they're not going to give us an actual character behind her. They could have just cast anyone to play a random neighbor bringing stuff in if it was just going to always be that. She is going to be Agnes the Witch, and she will be outed at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe she's Mephisto.
This is the other debate. Is she right? So we're closing off onto the final epic, ridiculous ending at the door when the wonderful and amazing Evan Peters turns up as Quicksilver from a different universe and a different reality.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Tony was correct on this one. If you want to go back a few episodes and you can find out, Tony did pull this out. Nathan's playing a very small violin. What song are you playing?
That's me. It's all about money. That's all it is about is money. They could have easily. Why have they brought in, other than to open up this possibility of creating 1,000 more films and all these different things? It would have made much more sense to the story if they brought in Aaron Taylor.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yep. But I disagree with you because the whole point of this is breaking the realities and multiverse. So you have a multiverse.
Yeah, but you know my thoughts on the multiverse.
You're too complex.
You're going to be disappointed in the next 10 years of Marvel movies then.
I think bringing Evan Peters in is smart because I think, first of all, he's a better actor than Kick-Ass. And I preferred his portrayal of Quicksilver. We got more of it, first off. It was younger, it was more sprightly and alive. Tony did think he would make a good Speed, and I have to agree he would have made a good Speed.
Yeah.
And it could have completely worked with the boys just changing their age as much as they wanted. But opening up this door that she is a mutant and she is going to lead us into possibly like the first X-Men film is really interesting.
Yeah, because obviously, like I said, she's now erupted. We now have the first ever multiverse in the MCU of where another character, and it is a character from a completely different universe and a completely different reality that is now in and mixed in with the MCU that we know. So it's now split. So we now have two. And I think this is going to happen from now on. I think you're now going to see more and more mixing and more. And I said, like I said, this is my theory. As I said a while ago, you're going to get to the end, and Doctor Strange is going to be like, shit, I need to go in and fix. I need to go and fix this. So he's going to have to come in and be like, Scarlet Witch has fucked it all up. I need to go in.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is in the next episode? Sorry,
I did
Nathan.
hear an interesting thing. I was watching the Everything Always, whatever it's called, that YouTube channel. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Everything Always. Yeah,
and he's normally quite a reliable guy to listen to, and he did something that I haven't heard before, which everyone always talks about. WandaVision. This guy talked about WandaVision season 1.
Oh, okay.
Which suggests to me that this might not be a limited series, and it might go into another season of this.
Yeah, because Multiverse of Madness is still 2 years away in the cinematic slate, so they could slip another full season of this in before Multiverse. And I think we're right with the timing of this season is going to end the week before Cap and Falcon, Winter Guy and Falcon start. So I think Nathan could be right. I don't know if we'll get a full tied off conclusion to this in one season.
Kevin Feige, the only thing that he said he says it is going to open the multiverse, but he says it's going to tie into the next Spider-Man for sure.
Yeah, but it could go WandaVision, Spider-Man, WandaVision, Doctor Strange. Love.
Yeah, so they could have even fit. We don't know how much they filmed. Obviously, they've told us how many episodes, but they might turn around next year and say, actually, when they filmed all of that, we filmed all of this. Here's another season.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be upset with that. I'm enjoying this and thinking it's fantastic. It's like a mini Marvel movie every episode, every Friday.
A longer episode today or this week as well. It was like about 36 minutes without the credits.
Yeah, it was 36 minutes and 20-something seconds it was, yeah.
There were ridiculously long credits at the end of every episode.
I love them. The special effects guys that done that is it's intricate and it's just so beautifully done and very symbolic.
You not think though that the credits suggest that Vision has got more control than we think he has, because it starts off with a WandaVision set and it goes into like Vision's head. And it comes out with the two symbols of them interlocked at the end, yeah?
Yeah, the two rings.
Two rings. So that suggests to me that I think Vision is not as much of a sort of passenger as we think. Well, maybe towards the end anyway, will not be as much a passenger as we think.
I think you're right. I think he is still the Vision when he's in there. But I think once he goes outside the bubble, that's him. He just collapses.
Obviously, we've seen the teaser trailer where he's trying to get out the bubble, so we'll see what.
Yeah.
So what did she do to the bubble with the red stuff?
I think she's just made it stronger. I thought that's what she was doing.
I think that's just her mark on every time she touches something. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be that she was going to basically she said that you won't interfere again, and she did that. I thought we were going to start seeing the bubble creep forward and engulf all the FBI agents and SWORD agents so that they couldn't interfere. They would be part of events rather than viewing events. But then it did nothing. It did kind of anticlimactically just go, oh, it's gone from blue to red. And we all know red means danger unless you live in China where it means luck. So maybe she just made it lucky, just lucky wall.
And that Darcy bird still really annoying, even after the 2 Thor films. She's still annoying as shit.
Nope. Her and Wu need their own spin-off X-Files TV series.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm calling that as well. I think Randall Park and oh my god, I forgot her name. What's her name?
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings, yeah.
She officially changed her name to Shit Actress on through Depot.
Oh,
every time you want to make
I think she just is herself. She just shows up to set, changes costume, and walks straight out. No reading the script, just is herself. How would Kat Dennings act in this situation? Go.
And sorry. We've got so obviously Deadpool's coming into the MCU, and obviously they need to start educating us on fourth wall breaking. So even the line saying, "Oh my God, she's recast Quicksilver," literally said that to us. So it's the first fourth wall break. So
I wouldn't
Did
class
it-
that as a fourth wall break because she says that she really enjoys the TV show.
Yeah.
So she obviously knows Piotr as Aaron Jimmy Johnson. So that's why she says that. I don't necessarily think it's a fourth wall break.
to me, it's a slight hint. I think a wink.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with Tony. It's both, because it's within the TV series. Within the TV series, it's not a fourth wall break, but if you view it from our level, it's a fourth wall break. And I think that perhaps the Deadpool movie might be secretly snuck in during the broken multiverse, so that fourth wall breaks and talking dead to the camera won't seem as strange during the MCU's run.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that would be even because what can get even more strange than the characters breaking? Because what's the actual can't physically break the fourth wall into speaking to us, like literally. It's always within a film, but that would be very strange. Then really talking to us. So
Did anybody notice the pure creepy thing that I only noticed on the recap this week? And it really, really freaked me out. So it was bad enough, right, that we got the fright with Vision, obviously, when she turns around and sees the body of Vision, Grey Vision.
Mhm.
That was horrendous, right? But did anybody catch the wee thing that he did at the end? So I'll run it here on top of this. So basically when they sit down at the end of, not that episode there, the last episode, they sit down on the couch, they've got the two twins, and he puts his arms around Scarlet Witch. Did anyone catch him staring right at the camera? That I never noticed that. So I never noticed it when I watched it the first time. It was in the recap. He literally does this. He looks over to the left, looks over at the Scarlet Witch, but then you can see the fear in his eyes, and as if he's like, kind of like that to her, and then turns around and looks straight into the camera. I was like...
But that's not him talking to us. That's him talking to the FBI agents outside the wall, because he's starting to understand that something's amiss. And
oh yeah, I agree with that. I totally missed it, and I thought it was one of the creepiest, subtle little pieces that I've seen in the show.
this is why I can't wait. I can't wait for him to go through that barrier to see if he is still old Vision with a Mind Stone, because that means she's created an Infinity Stone.
he won't
Nah,
get through it.
He's
He
going to be
won't
dead,
I
I
think-
think.
I think it might be even worse than we think. I think he might fall to pieces.
Yeah.
I wonder if she is holding him together. Like, we saw his body in the lab in the CCTV footage, and it's in pieces. I wonder if he's being held together and he's going to walk through that wall and crumble into all his separate limbs.
I think that I agree with Mark. I think that's where they'll just collapse, and I think that's the next stage in Scarlet Witch going.
Maybe she'll get that. What's her name? Black Panther's sister to try and put it back together.
Well, that's the thing, and then and we're talking about the whole Jasmine Bowman thing. I think this is how they'll go around it. It's an alternative universe where she is the king and he never really existed, which will be a shame if they go down that path.
I think that would be seen as being a bit.
Exactly. I don't want them to do that, and I hope they don't do that, because they do need to honor him. So
he didn't. Snapped. Did he get snapped? I can't remember.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he got snapped. But apparently, they're talking about the rumors for Black Panther 2 here is, I've forgotten everyone's name. Who was the other chief that came and helped him in Infinity War?
Baku, I think it was.
Baku, yeah. They're talking about Baku wanting to fight for the position of king. And then they're like, oh, but there's no one else to be king. Like, who do I fight? And then the sister's going to step up to the plate, and they're going to have the waterfall fight from the first movie again.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so
like David and Goliath.
Yeah, I think it's going to be strange, but I think it'll work. I want the sister to be king. She makes more sense than Baku, and also Baku felt like a sort of very much a B character, in the sense of just they didn't give him much to do in either movie, so you don't know him that well. You're not invested in her.
Bring back Killmonger and make him an evil king. It'd be awesome.
Oh, Killmonger was possibly the best villain that I've seen in comic book movies altogether. He was such a deep, meaningful, realistic, just a great acting. Obviously, Michael Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. J. Jordan. Jesus.
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan. Yeah. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Right. Well, I think we've summed up episode 5 relatively well. I think there's going to be a lot.
Should we not talk about the fact that we were promised episode 6, did not get it, got a spoiler trailer that actually, if you're watching this and you haven't seen the trailers, avoid them because, well, if you're watching this, you haven't seen the trailers, we've ruined it. So ignore that. But also ignore promo 6. Ignore promo 6 because it spoils another cameo.
That's why I just don't get what they're doing with the marketing.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I agree.
They must be so confident in, because you knew that Ashoka was coming to Mandalorian. You knew that Thingy Bob, can't think of her name, the other Mandalorian was coming, and you knew that Boba Fett was coming. But maybe they're just so confident as if you give them all these clues, they won't look for the biggest one, you know?
Maybe after the first 2 episodes, there's a huge dip in viewing figures for episode 3 because people didn't like the first 2. So this is the way to get the viewers back in, you know?
Looking at analytics. Yeah. But I want Sir Patrick Stewart to turn up, Professor X.
Yeah.
I was saying that I think it would be James McAvoy to Chris literally yesterday if Professor X shows up.
If it did, it would be McAvoy.
I don't want any of these people to turn up. I just want it to have a good story by itself, rather than relying.
You've got Quicksilver.
Yeah, but I didn't think. I just thought that's a way of making a lot of money. That's all I thought when I saw that.
Yeah, well, maybe the show's not for you, Nathan.
I would fully agree with this. The show is probably not for me, but nonetheless, I am a person and I will watch it.
Yeah, but to counter
and
your
come up with really good theories as well. Really
to counter
good.
your argument of they're only bringing these people in for money. Think about how much money they're paying Evan Peters. His wee pop Funko will probably only go to cover his bill. They just could have just not cast him and kept all that money in the first place.
Yeah, no, but I think sometimes a lot, especially with superhero films, they overload them with characters and people, and sometimes they overkill it. Yeah. And I think that I think a lot of fans want these things to happen, but I think it can kill a film because there's too many characters in them. I think Endgame particularly suffered from that a bit, where they tried to round up far too many stories in it, and it became not as good a film as Infinity War that came before it.
I think you're right. I think Cap should have had a movie after Endgame to end it, and Tony should have been the only one to really bite the dust along with Natasha in that movie.
But even they did that stupid thing with all the female.
Tony, you're okay.
They did that stupid bit with all the female characters as well, just because it was a button topic at the time. So they thought we better put that in as well to help to tick that.
But you have to love that part because of what it gave us in The Boys season 2. Without that part, we would have never got the girls do it best part in Boys season 2.
That's true. It doesn't, but that was the point of them doing that in The Boys, to say, look, don't just have them standing about doing fuck all. Have them kick the guy's arse in, you know.
But we've seen that Mando as well.
Yeah.
The last episode, the rescue.
Yeah.
The 4 girls is going through the entire Stormtroopers.
Yeah, I know, but I think sometimes Marvel
Mando did nothing.
Which I think obviously Snyder nonsense is coming up soon. And the other sort of DC films, they're very much sort of standalone, and apart from recently they've brought in these other like Batman and Superman crossovers and stuff. But I think I almost prefer it when it's a story about that person rather than trying to bring all this other stuff together and link together 22 films. Whether Marvel do 22 films that are linked together or not linked together, they're all going to make a fuck ton of money. So why not just not be so fucking nonsense and convoluted about it?
I mean, you are right. Deadpool 1 was the best received of like the whole Fox mutant range, and then we had Joker was the best received DC movie. With the Batmans by Christopher Nolan being the next. The standalones get a lot of love that Marvel sort of neglects a wee bit with constantly bringing other people in.
They've all become basically, I think the The first time they really did it was with Civil War, when it became almost like Avengers 2.5. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And every film from that
Wasn't a
point
big
on,
fan
apart from maybe the
of Civil
Ant-Man
War.
films, they always bring in all these other characters that I think sometimes they detract from the story and they make other characters appear less powerful.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, I know.
But
Not
Tony's
Tony
just
Khan.
I've annoyed him so much, he's gone.
But I think with the whole crossing over of everything, and especially with Mandalorian having that amazing spoiler Luke Skywalker reveal in the final episode, we're now expecting something of that size at the end of WandaVision, right? Can it possibly live up to the hype that we're giving it? Or do you think they might have just gone, they might have actually read a really good story that doesn't have someone cameoing in the last episode, and we're all going to watch it being like, oh, when is Spider-Man showing up? When's Doctor Strange getting here? Is Captain America coming back? Who's it going to be? And then it'll just end, and we'll all just be texting each other going, no one showed up.
No, I'd be like, that is fucking amazing. I love the fact they did that. The best thing that happened is Luke Skywalker turned up with Grogu because he got lost trying to find the Jedi Temple.
Is it that? Oh, I'll just stop for some milk and gas. And, I need to fight my way.
Well, there you have it. That's WandaVision episode 5, or 4 and 5. I'm pretty confident we'll probably be back here and you'll have another video next Friday night on episode 6, because I'm pretty confident it's going to be another mind melter again. And it will be absolutely crazy, and there'll be a lot to talk about, and even more little sneak peeks and bits and bobs, because obviously we've had a little bit of the promos that we've seen, so it looks fantastic if that is the stuff that is going to be in episode 6. But yeah, so thank you very much for joining us again. It was quite a long episode. That was nearly an hour. But thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you, Nathan. We can do this all day.